welcome everyone to the inaugural broadcast of the Vanguard Fitness Hour. I am the producer, not the host. I am the producer here. We are the hosts here, right here with me, Mr. Mario Kuntz, the fitness guru. So we are ready to actually make things happen for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and do what my job is and begin to produce. So Mario, take it
Yes,
over, man.
sir. All right. Thank you very much for that introduction. I am totally excited about the inaugural episode of the Vanguard Fitness Hour. This has been a long time in the making. We initially discussed the concept for this show about a year and a half ago, I suppose, where we're looking to introduce a format that was unlike traditional podcast or broadcast that feature fitness and weight loss and that sort of thing. Looking to develop something and bring to you something that's going to be exciting. It's going to be innovative. It's going to be inclusive, so that you're going to get the information that you're looking for when it comes to improving yourself and making sure that you're the best version of yourself that you can be. That's what I'm all about. So I want to bring that kind of information to you in a format where even if you're a novice to exercise, fitness, wellness, whatever the case might be. Maybe you're someone that's never exercised a day in their lives. Maybe you haven't worked out or done anything to really focus on improving your health since high school. I want to make sure that the broadcast is amenable to you. If you're an individual, let's say you're a veteran, maybe you've been working out for 20, 30 years, whatever the case might be. I want you to be able to carry away some of these nuggets of information that you can include in your own health and wellness lifestyle. And of course, everything in between. So I'm really excited to bring to the forefront and offer and share my years of experience in the fitness industry, which started about 19 years ago. So I've thought that for this inaugural version of the Vanguard Fitness Hour with your host, me, Mario Kuntz, the fitness guru, I wanted to take some time to really have an opportunity to introduce myself to you so that you know who I am, where I came from, what my background is, and why it is that I'm referred to as the fitness guru. So to get started with that, let's get going right now because, I've got about 20 pounds of information, motivation, and inspiration to stuff into a 20-pound bag. So it's time to get going right now. Mario Kuntz, that's who I am. I initially began my fitness career much like most individuals. I was basically a gym rat. A gym rat is just someone that just enjoys being in the gym. They enjoy working out, the challenge, even the setbacks, the motivation that you get from exercising, improving your body. So before all that happens, I'm going to go even farther back to my childhood. So as a child, as a young boy, I was allowed to be active. I was allowed to be a boy, running and climbing and jumping and all those physical activities that just made life fun. I look forward to it. Much different from the kind of a setting that we're seeing in today's society, unfortunately, but we're working to reverse that. There weren't video games to play. You didn't want to stay in the house. It was like being in prison. You wanted to be out just running wild and doing what you did as a young kid. So I really enjoyed that. And that really laid the foundation, just being an active person or child, someone that just had a hard time sitting still. I loved burning off that energy. And my parents loved it too, because I wasn't driving them insane when I came into the house. So that was a big part of that. On another note, as a child, I saw the effects and the treatment that individuals that weren't in good shape received. And so I'm thinking back to, again, my childhood, where I would have friends that were my age, that lived on my block, and they were, the term was heavy set, overweight, that sort of thing. These were the kids that the term didn't exist yet, but this is fat shaming. So these were the kids that they were picked last if they were picked at all for games and sporting events. They were teased, fatso, fat boy, big boy, chunky, all those sorts of things. And although the individuals that I came up with, they took it in stride, but I know that that had to have a negative effect on them. And I saw this, and it affected me to the point where I said, you know what, I never want to be in that kind of a situation. That just seems so hurtful. And I saw that going on as I aged and became an adult. So that's a big part of that early foundation. Going forward, um, I always admired individuals that were fit, whether it be famous my favorite athletes or big brothers of friends of mine that were just athletically inclined, and they were strong and they were fit. And I saw the kind of attention that those people got. Um, they got the double looks, they got the compliments, they got the questions about, well, what do you do to develop this muscle and that muscle, and why are you so fit, and all those sorts of things. And that again really ingrained in me the significance and importance of fitness. Although those methods were fairly shallow, because it's basically all about appearance and that sort of thing. But as a young person, as that psyche is developing, these are things that are impressionable to an individual. So that's kind of how that was laid. So once I got into college, that's when my journey really began. Besides, I'm away from home. Other than going to the cafeteria or going to the library or being in your dorm room, there really wasn't a lot for me to do. I was kind of introverted a bit, so I was looking for an outlet where I could, continue to, be fit, have a good time, interact with other individuals. It was a good social interaction opportunity. So I started spending time in the gym. And the more I did it, the more I enjoyed it. And it became very addictive. And that's one thing that I want to share with you. Once you get started, I know a lot of people, the biggest stumbling block that most individuals run across when they are even considering engaging in a healthier lifestyle is, I don't know where to start. It's going to be hard to start. And, I'm not going to be able to keep up with it. I'm here to tell you that, yes, there is truth to that. Okay. Once you make the determination that getting started is something that you're going to be doing, you're going to be implementing into your own lifestyle. It is going to be challenging at first. Okay. But I tell you, once you get started, you don't feel right going to bed unless you've had your workout in. Okay. You feel guilty when you've eaten a meal that you know is no good for you, because it's setting you back and you're basically deleting or erasing all the progress that you've made. So this is what I did in college. So all 4 years, I was just, I wasn't preparing for a sport or anything like that. I just enjoyed that working out and the feel that I got for it. Now, fast forward a little bit. By the time graduation rolls around, and I got a job. I was in the real world now, so I didn't have all this free time to be exercising and working out. And I got married not too long after college, and all that went away. And I found that I wasn't exercising, because I was getting up first thing in the morning, the crack of dawn, to get into traffic and travel to my job. And I spent, multiple hours there. By the time I got back, it's dark. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. And I got out of my habit. And that happens with a lot of individuals also. Real life gets in the way. And I was not carving out that time for myself. Later on, I would use that as a foundation for one of the mantras that I profess and I share with individuals. There are 24 hours in a day. You are entitled to at least one of those hours to dedicate toward yourself. Because if you don't, everything else pales in comparison. So you've got to take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of anyone else? All right. So that's the mindset that I had. So I had to change my thinking. So as opposed to I had to change my routine. So I knew that exercise and fitness and nutrition and diet and training was important. I just had to make sure that I made room for it in my life. And I totally got away from that, because I was so focused on work and making money and chasing that dollar, that I just let that go by the wayside. So I had to change my thinking. And a lot of you out there probably have to make certain adjustments also. So what did I do? I had to determine what was the problem? What was the issue? What was getting in the way of me being the healthiest version of myself that I could possibly be? What was keeping me from reaching that optimal level of performance? And for me, it was scheduling. I had to change some things around. So I had to kind of reverse engineer the problem. All right, I'm getting up first thing in the morning. I'm getting into traffic. I'm on the Kennedy Expressway. I know it takes an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours to get to work. I'm at work until 6, 7 o'clock at night. I leave out, it's another hour, so I'm getting back and it's like 8 o'clock, whatever the case might be. It's pretty late. I would go home with the intention that I'm going to start working out. Okay, that was my mindset. I walk in that door and I decide I want to fix a little snack. So I might fix a little snack. I want to find out what's going on in the world. So I'll pop open the newspaper or check out the news broadcast and find out what went on during the day. I might knock out a couple little chores, but I'm still going to the gym. And I found out that after a while, I'm not going anywhere. Okay, so it just didn't fit. I was burnt out. I was tired. I had done all these things and I wasn't working out. So I had to get to a point where I could integrate this lifestyle back into my routine. So what did I change? As opposed to going home after I get off that expressway when I leave work, I would go straight to the gym. I would pack a bag and I would have it in the trunk ready to go. I was not going home. The other issue that I had to address is I wasn't returning calls. I wasn't responding to any requests. This was my time. This was my hour. Once I got that situated and made that adjustment, then things started to click again. So it was just that simple change. As opposed to going home after work, I would go straight to the gym after work because I know that I was not disciplined enough to go home, do those things that I wanted to do, and then still make it out to the gym. So if you are having an issue with getting started or maintaining a fitness lifestyle, whatever the case might be, reverse engineer the problem. Work yourself backwards. Find out where you might be able to make some adjustments and make those adjustments because you can do it. So now my background. I mentioned a little bit about school and college and that sort of thing. I attended Western Illinois University in Macomb, Illinois. So any fellow leathernecks out there, all right, good to see you. I hope you're watching. And I studied exercise science. My graduate degree is in business administration. So I have an MBA from Loyola University of Chicago. I attended the Water Tower campus. So I felt that that was a good way to integrate kind of the two, even though I wasn't exactly sure that this was going to be a part of my overall lifestyle and going forward. But for some reason, I just thought that business and that exercise science would be a good combination. What I did was, on the side, I had a totally different career. I was in sales and marketing. And I was in conference and convention management. So on the side, that's when I was training and that sort of thing, and making sure that I stayed fit and active because it made me feel a certain way. I benefited from it, mentally, physically, spiritually. All these things came together when I integrated exercise and diet and nutrition into my regular routine. Okay, so from there, on the side, like I said, I was doing training and that sort of thing. I remember I was looking for a new gym home because the place that I was working out, it was basically a hole in the wall. It was a little community center in Matson, Illinois, a little small room, had this antiquated equipment. But I loved it. It had everything that I wanted in there. And I would work out religiously. That was my place. I would go there and I would exercise and I'd get my workout on, and I'd meet and socialize with other friends that were like-minded and go from there. Eventually I outgrew it. So I started to look for another facility where I could train. So in my travels, I'm checking out new facilities and that sort of thing. I walk into a gym, and one of the person that was giving the tour comes up to me and she says, "Wow, do you compete?" And I said, "Compete? What do you mean compete?" She said, "In fitness competitions." And I was honest. I said no. I had never even thought about it. She said, "Well, you should." Here, I'm going to give you the number to a guy. That guy's name was Chuck Sanow. He was the head of the NPC, which was the National Physique Committee. This is the overall body that oversees fitness competitions and different training shows and that sort of thing. So I gave him a call. He said, "Come on down, I'll meet you." He owned his own gym, which I thought was fantastic. Checked me out and said that, you know what, I think you might be all right in terms of competition. So I'm going to show you some things that you can do to kind of tighten things up and make some adjustments to your diet and that sort of thing. And yeah, we'll see how you do. So the first show that I had ever done, and again, I could not believe I was doing this. It's just I just got caught up in the whirlwind. But I actually did a bodybuilding competition. I competed as a middleweight, and the first show that I did, I came in fifth place. Now, what was fascinating about that? It was kind of a two-edged sword. Number one, fifth place is the last place you can achieve and still win an award, like a trophy or anything like that. So I came in at the very bottom. So I was elated in that I had never done a show before. And, I did well enough where I could actually place. On the flip side, it lit a fire under me. Man, I came in fifth place. What can I do to come in fourth or third or second? So I started doing these competitions on a regular basis. So, my first few shows, I placed fifth. The next show I did, I came in second, another second. I came in first after my fourth show. And the ball was rolling from there. I just kept doing competitions, and I was winning. And I was just doing these local shows, and I'm really killing it, right? I'm feeling great about myself. I'm doing all these local shows. I won an overall title, which basically means that I beat everybody in the show. So I came in first in my division, which was middleweight, and then all the division leaders compete against each other. And I competed against those individuals and came out on top. And I thought that was fabulous. I was so excited about it. That qualified me to compete on a national level. So now I'm going from doing these local shows to doing a national show. During a national show, the winner actually becomes certified as a professional bodybuilder. I never had any goals or aspirations to do that. I just thought it'd be fun. So I go in and, I'm cocky. I've won all these shows. I've come in first place. I won my first overall. And they flew me out to St. Louis, Missouri, put me up in a hotel room, covered all the expenses and all that. So I'm ready to go. And I step on stage. And I got my hat handed to me. I mean, I got crushed. And that's one thing about me. I like to be transparent. So there were 16 people in my weight class. I came in 16th. I could not, I couldn't believe it. So how did I get beat so bad? And then I found out later on what the deal was. So national shows are tested. And what I mean by that, they either do urinary tests. Local shows are tested, urinary tests, or they'll do lie detector tests to determine whether or not a competitor is using illicit drugs, steroids primarily. National level shows are not. So that was one. So basically, anybody on stage, you can be filled up with any kind of drug you want. Whereas I was going in as a clean athlete, and there's just a significant difference in terms of appearance and what the judges look for. The other factor in that poor performance, bodybuilders tend, at least the ones that I competed against, tend to be shorter, stockier guys. However, they were the same weight as I was, or approximately the same weight. We're on the same weight class. So I'm 4 to 6 inches taller than the next guy. All right. But he weighs the same as I do. So all that muscle is compacted down, and they just look like big, stocky, fire plugs. I look like a scarecrow next to him, even though I was muscular. But I still had fun doing it. Right. So from there, I started getting a lot of questions. What do you do for abs? What do you do for biceps? What do you do for cardio? What do you eat? What does your routine look like? And I loved answering those questions because it meant that people were interested in adopting a fitness lifestyle. And I really gravitated toward that because it gave me an opportunity to share and to teach. And I got a lot of that from my mother, who was an educator. So I love sharing that information. I did it willingly. And I did it with great joy. So I got more of these questions, and pretty soon I'm getting letters and email and that sort of thing. So the natural progression was, I might as well go ahead and get myself certified. So I got certified through a body called the International Sports Sciences Association. So that is the organization where my certified personal trainer certification is held through. And from there, it just really snowballed, and I started getting all these sub certifications, working with special populations, working with the elderly, working on pre and postpartum women. Working with individuals that have suffered injuries and that sort of thing. So I just kept going and going and learning and learning these new techniques, and it was just really exciting. So I really started to build on that. So the next step, diet and nutrition. I tell everyone, all my clients, any patient that I work with, and I'll get into that whole patient aspect later. Diet, nutrition, the way that you eat is easily 60% of your overall training regimen. If you're not eating right, but you're working out, it's like running in mud. You ain't getting anywhere. Okay. You've got to make sure that you tie in that diet. Diet was so important that I decided that I wanted to become a certified nutritionist. So I went through a program through the American Health and Health and Science University, and I became a certified nutrition. Now I'm able to pull these components together. From there, I started getting these other certifications, AED, adult and pediatric CPR, working with bloodborne pathogens. I worked through a program called Silver Sneakers through Tivity Health, where I became certified as an instructor, working specifically with the elderly for something called MS-ROM, which is muscular strength and range of motion. Cardio circuit was another. Silver Splash is another one. I taught these aqua fitness classes. So I found that I really had an affinity for working with the elderly. I really enjoyed that. So moving forward, got these certifications, and now opportunity just started to present itself. I took a position. My first job in the fitness industry was actually with the village of Country Club Hills, Illinois. They had a recreational center, and I would work with youth, young kids after school program, and I would design these fitness programs and these fitness routines because early on I noticed that this obesity trend that was decimating our youth, particularly those in among African American populations. So that was kind of my goal. I love designing these programs and working with these individuals. And from there, I started working with adults. And this is all through the village of Country Club Hill. So eventually word gets out and people find out about what you do and they like it. And I got an opportunity to work with moment of silence, but Valley Fitness Corporation. I became a certified personal trainer there. Worked there for a few years, and then had an opportunity to get my first managing role in the health and wellness space. That was with a facility called Experience Fitness. Now there I was basically the fitness director. So I oversaw all the fitness programming that took place, all the classes, all the workshops, the seminars, ordering the equipment, ordering supplements, everything that went into managing a full facility. And now this was really the culmination of everything that I'd done to that point, because now basically I can build what I want. And I really loved doing that. So again, it's just more opportunity to share knowledge and to spread that word of physical fitness and health. I work with an organization called Ratio 1-to-1, where I worked as a trainer. I got more into membership programming and that sort of thing. I worked with Sandridge Fitness Center in Calumet City, Illinois. I'm an Illinois guy, if you haven't already noticed. I've worked with senior citizen homes, designing programs, and I'm working with those folks. I've done aqua fitness classes, aqua aerobics classes. So I've got a big, significant background there. One of the turning points in my career came when I was asked by an individual, it's a chiropractor, to come and work at their facility. Because by then I had already gone through and received my exercise rehabilitation therapy therapist license and physical therapist license. So I was invited to come on, and they were looking for someone to work with their patients and take them to that next level. So if anyone is familiar with chiropractic care, basically what happens is when you initially go in, you're assessed, And the doctor will find out exactly what's wrong and develop a treatment plan and go through that. So you're getting your spinal adjustments, you're getting your therapeutic treatments like interferential current therapy, ultrasound, those sorts of things. Once a patient reaches a certain level of improvement, now they take it to that next level where now they're working with functional strength and range of motion and flexibility and just being able to get back to a point where they can do the regular everyday things that individuals do. Things like bending down to pick up a child or to get in and out of a car or to have the ability to walk up a flight of stairs. So that's a big part of what I do now. So it's just another opportunity to assist individuals and really put together all those aspects of everything that I've picked up over these 19 years. So that's what I want to share with you. That's what I do. So the title fitness guru, I don't use that as a moniker. Actually, I didn't even develop it myself. It was given to me by an individual and just kind of stuck. But I don't use that as a term to be conceited or arrogant. I look at a fitness guru as someone that has a thirst for knowledge, for learning, not just for themselves, but also so that they can share it with others. And that is my goal. So that's why I read the white papers. That's why I read the magazine articles. That's why I look at health and wellness articles that are published online. That's why I read the books. And I keep that going because you have to be wise enough to understand that there's a lot that you don't know. And there's a lot that still has to be learned. So as I learn that information, I like to share it. I put it up on my social media pages. I share it with anyone who will listen. I share it with the patients that I treat, with the personal training clients that I have, because that's what it's all about. Because if I can change one individual's approach and get them to integrate healthy lifestyle choices, then the battle has been won. Because this obesity and poor health is an epidemic, much like this pandemic that we're in the middle of right now. One of the things that we're seeing along all lines, and there's still a lot of uncertainty about what COVID-19 is and how it affects individuals and that sort of thing, but there has been one consistency throughout. That is individuals that have contracted this virus, and I'm going to have a whole episode on this pandemic, but individuals that contract the virus who are in good health stand a much stronger chance of fighting off the virus with minimal ill effects. And we're seeing that when we talk about comorbidities, things like individuals that have high blood pressure, heart disease, liver disease, certain forms of cancer, diabetes. These are individuals that have the most negative side effects associated with that virus. And one common thread throughout all those ailments that I mentioned is a lack of exercise, a sedentary lifestyle, being overweight or obese, not being in good health. So when you work on that, you're more apt and more in a better position to take on the day and meet the challenges that you need to do to be able to meet in order to be successful in life and to meet those challenges that you're going to be facing and put yourself in a position where your body is functioning optimally. And that's what it's all about. So let's get into it now. I've told you a little bit about myself. I want to share with you about what my company, Vanguard Exercise Management, is all about, what I do. Vanguard Exercise Management, it is a health and wellness firm. It's established, or I established it, with the sole purpose of reversing America's obesity trend. Because obesity trends are increasing, and you see this in study after study. I look at these things all the time. Okay, we're going in the wrong direction, folks, and there's a lot of reasons for that. So my goal is to reverse that trend, okay, and share that information, individual by individual, town by town, city by city, state by state. I want to take this message nationwide, and now with this partnership with WDHR Radio, this is going to be worldwide. Okay, because I want to share that information, and this partnership has allowed me the opportunity, the vehicle to make that happen. And I'm looking forward to sharing that information with you each and every week. I provide comprehensive health and fitness-related programs, professional services, premium products for my clientele. I also work with patients in a chiropractic and physician setting where I'm working with individuals for injury recovery, weight loss, balance and flexibility, all those sorts of things that go into that. All the information that I share on this program is going to be factual. I'm going to present it in as entertaining a vehicle as I can. It's going to be educational content that's going to be designed to support you, the viewers, as you begin or continue your personal fitness journey while living the Vanguard motto. And I'm going to share with you this motto, and you're going to hear it many times because I always profess it. I've been using it for years since I developed it. And the Vanguard motto is to train hard, eat clean, and stay focused. That is the Vanguard motto. And I try to live that every day of my life. So the name of the company, Vanguard. What does Vanguard mean? Why I get that question a lot. Why'd you pick that instead of, Mario's fitness company or whatever the case might be? Vanguard is a group of people. And keep in mind, this is not an individual because I don't look at what I do as an individual effort. This is something that involves other people. Even though I started the company, when I need individuals to promote it, to share that information I share with them. So it's a group of people that lead the way in the development of new ideas. Okay, so that's what a vanguard is. Other definitions, it's basically a position at the forefront or of development of ideas, or the foremost part of an advancing army or naval force. Okay, I love the name, and because it really motivated me. When you think about the vanguard of an army, that is these are the elite soldiers. This is the team of individuals that go in first, and they take on that competition. They take on that adversary, and they soften them up, and they get them to the point where the rest of the troops can come in and do the cleanup work. But they're at the very forefront of everything, and that's what I look at this. How I look at this company. We're at the forefront of information, of knowledge, of strategies and techniques that are designed to make sure that our bodies are optimally functioning so that we're fending off diseases and ailments, and we're not having those achy joints, and we're not giving into the theory that, oh, well, I'm getting older now. It's just a way of life. I'm supposed to be sore. I'm supposed to pick up a few pounds. That's crap. Don't listen to it. That's not what you're designed to do. You're not designed to be sedentary or inactive. Think about when you're a child, okay? And if you're like most children, if you're like me, you just wanted to be moving. You want to be doing stuff. You want to be climbing on stuff and reaching things and throwing stuff, and you're just constantly moving. That's what kids do. That's how we're designed. That's how we're wired. That's how we were intended to function. We're not meant to sit on a couch 12 hours out of a day. We're not supposed to be sitting in cars and having our meals in vehicles and being inactive. We're not designed to just kind of lay around and waste our lives away. We're meant to move around. Why do we get away from that? Well, if you take a look at, again, looking at the example of children, that's just what they do. They do what comes naturally. It's not until we get older, like preteen years and maybe teenage years, that it's not cool to climb a tree. It's not, I'm too old to climb on the monkey bars or swing or play catch or whatever the case might be. We start to get away from that stuff. And then as you become an adult, what happens? Real life happens, okay? You get a job. You're sitting behind a desk somewhere, and you're spending 8 to 10 hours in an office. Okay. And what happens? The pounds start to come on. You're tired. You don't feel like doing that kind of stuff anymore. We learn that inactivity is something that's a foregone conclusion. We don't focus on it anymore. Okay. So why not get back to doing some of that? It's still there. It hasn't left you. You just been programmed to the point where, that's not cool. That's not what an adult does. Do it. Why not? Okay. I mean, if you need an excuse and you have a child or a nephew or maybe even a local neighborhood kid or whatever the case might be, go to the park with them. Let them play, watch them play, see what they do. Join in. Okay. That's a simple way to get some activity in. Okay. If you want to take a walk, whatever the case might be, but get away from that thought that a sedentary lifestyle is where it's at. Okay, we got to get moving. These bodies that the good Lord blessed us with, I don't know what, whatever religious background you come from, we didn't happen by accident. I can say that. So what you need to do is to realize that these are marvelous pieces of equipment. This is a great machine, and we got to take care of it because you only get one. Okay, this ain't science fiction where we can remove your psyche and place it into a brand new body. That hasn't happened yet. So you screw this one up, you're screwed up. Okay, so that's what a lot of this is about. So getting back, and you kind of got sidetracked a little bit, but that's the meaning of the name, Vanguard. At the point, leading the way in terms of development of new ideas and sharing it. So Vanguard Exercise Management. The motto that I shared with you, train hard, eat clean, stay focused. Let's break that down. First part of it, train hard. When you exercise, you need to exercise as if you will achieve your fitness goals. Okay, we're not going in haphazardly. We're not going in without a plan. We've got goals that have been predetermined, and we're going to do everything possible to meet them. Okay, we're not going to let anything get in the way of that. We're going to stay tuned in. We're going to stay dialed in, laser focused on our training. Okay, I even gave the example, one of the things that I like to do when I'm preparing to spend time in the gym. And number one is I realize that time is for me. This is my hour out of the 24 that I'm given during the day. And nothing is going to get in the way of that. I'm not answering a phone. I'm not doing anything for work. I'm not taking my kids anywhere, even though my kids are grown now. So all those distractions, all that outside stuff, it just goes away. People have to understand that. And if they don't, maybe they're not acting in your best interests. Okay. So you need to make sure that when you're training with a purpose, you're training with focus, you're training hard. Okay. Second part of that, training hard. What does that mean? You're going to, the second part of it is eat clean. You're going to fuel your body with the nutrients that it needs in order to perform optimally. Now, I know this is, for most people, the toughest aspect of all this, eating the right way. And why is it so difficult? Well, we live in a society where we got just way too many choices and options, right? We eat on the go. There are tons of fast food options out there. It takes time to prepare meals and to cook and to eat right, even down to, and I'm going to do a show on this also. Food producers know that what we crave. They know that we crave sugar. They know that we crave sodium, and they're going to load foods up in them because sugar, by its nature, is very addictive. Okay, so the more of it that's in there, the better it is for the manufacturers, because the consumer is going to want more and more and more of it. It's like a drug. Okay, so when it comes down to eating properly, it's very difficult to do, because that's one of the things that, if you are trying to, let's say you're starting, and I hate the word diet, but I'll use the word diet because diets are by nature meant to be temporary. You do it in order to achieve a goal, then you achieve your goal, then you get off of it. I prefer lifestyle eating habits. Okay, that's just the term that I use, because when I put together meal plans and menus for individuals and that sort of thing, that's kind of the approach that I take. However, when you are making a determination to eat right, that's something that there's really no one checking you on that, right? If I decide I want to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and have a bowl of ice cream, I can do it. Nobody's really watching, right? If I'm in my car and I'm hungry and maybe I didn't have a chance to prepare a healthy meal for myself, I'm going to pull into the parking lot of a drive-through, okay? Because they're everywhere, right? When you think about how many fast food restaurants out there, they're very prevalent. You can't go down you can hardly go down any main street without passing one or two or six. They're everywhere. Okay, so that's challenging. But eating clean basically means that you're eating foods as close as possible to being in their natural state. Okay, so vegetables, for example. Why are vegetables considered a clean food? Because they basically, unless they've been treated and that sort of thing with pesticides and that, but by their very nature, they come from the ground, and that's the food source. Okay, they haven't been processed. processed. They haven't been prepackaged, none of that. Okay, so eating clean. I want to consume the foods in as close to their natural state as possible. So without the added preservatives or colorings and that sort of thing. So that's what eating clean is about. And don't worry, we're going to have a whole series of programs that are dedicated toward healthy eating strategies and patterns and tactics and that sort of thing. The third part of the Vanguard motto is to stay focused. Okay, when you're staying focused, when you're remaining zeroed in on your goal, you're allowing nothing and no one to prevent you from becoming the fittest version of yourself, because obviously that's important to you. I mean, obviously fitness is something that means something to you, because you wouldn't be watching this program if it were not. Okay, so when it comes to allowing nothing and no one to prevent you from achieving those goals, sometimes you might have to make some hard choices, because sometimes the biggest roadblocks come from the individuals that are closest to us. They could be friends. And the friend is, they know that you're trying to achieve this fitness goal, but instead they say, let's go out and have drinks and let's go get a pizza. Okay. Oh, but I got to get my workout in. Man or girl, you can work out later. Let's go and do this. Okay. It could be the individual that maybe you might be married to that person. I've got clients that they come to me, and a lot of times I've had individuals, they've been in tears because they're struggling so hard. Mario, I'm trying to follow this meal plan that you developed for me, and I know it's going to work, and I do all right, but I get in the house and my husband walks in with a bucket of KFC. And this person already knows what their weakness is. All right. You're looking here at a salad, and your spouse walks in with a big bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken, and it's smelling good, and it's breaking down those defenses that you've put up against that sort of thing. It's right here in your house. And this is a spouse. This is someone that's supposed to be supporting you. So it might be time to have a conversation with this person. Okay. But maybe I want you to be healthy too, but if you're not going to do it, at least don't stand in my way. Okay, so these are things that you need to focus on, and that's what the motto is all about: training hard, eating clean, staying focused. So now you have an idea of what that means. I talk about goals quite a bit. Goal setting is incredibly important when you're talking about adopting a fitness lifestyle. What is it that you want to achieve? Why is it that you want to become fit? Why are you listening to a program like this, right? So you've got to establish a goal. Why? Because if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there, right? So you have to find out exactly what it is that you're trying to achieve. Are you trying to recover from injury? Okay. Maybe you're sick of walking up a flight of stairs and being out of breath when you get to the top. Maybe you look back on old photos and you think to yourself, man, I used to look good. I wish I hadn't put on all these extra pounds. Maybe it could be vanity. And there's nothing wrong with that either. Okay. But if you got a little vein bone in your body, that's okay too. Maybe you like the reaction you get when you're fit and people look at you a certain way. Maybe you like the way that the clothes fit on you when you put them on. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're embarrassed about going into and having to shop at a plus size store. Maybe you have recently broken up with an individual and you want to get revenge. You want to show them how good you look now. Okay, whatever it takes, it doesn't matter. Excuse me just a second. Whatever is important to you, whatever's going to keep you focused, whatever that goal is, establish it, find out what it is, and start to take the steps that are necessary to achieve that goal. Now, the thing about goal setting when it comes to fitness, you've got to set goals that are basically smart. And I'm going to get into what a SMART goal is during a future broadcast. But right now, I'm just, and there's several segments of what a SMART goal actually is. But I'm going to focus on one of those goals for that acronym, SMART. One of them is realistic. Your goal needs to be realistic. So if you are 60 pounds overweight and you say that you're going to lose 50 pounds within the next month and a half, it ain't going to happen. Okay? I tell everyone that I work with, those pounds didn't come on you overnight, and they ain't going away overnight. Okay, it took time to get to that point in your life. It's going to take time to get back. So you have to be patient. Incremental goals. So if you got a huge goal, let's go back to the 60 pounds. Your first goal might be, I need to lose 4. Once you do what you need to do, you've changed your diet, you're more active, you're working out in the gym, you're getting enough sleep, you're eliminating a lot of the stressors in your life that have a negative effect on you, and you achieve that first goal. Okay, I'm at 4. Now I'm going to set a new goal. I want to lose another 3. And you progress that way. So it's not, because what happens is when you take these big goals, this is why a lot of people get discouraged. I got to lose 60 pounds and I've only lost 4. Oh God, it's going to take me forever. I'm never going to be able to make it. And people get discouraged and they stop doing what they want, what they know is right, because it just seems like it's just insurmountable. Well, it's not. There's an old adage, what's the best way to eat an elephant? The answer, one bite at a time. And your goal should be established the same way. Okay, so you have to be realistic about those goals. And again, we'll get into the other acronyms and segments of that SMART goal term, because you're going to apply that as we set these fitness goals for ourselves. And we're going to do these together as we move forward with the Vanguard Fitness Hour. Okay. One of the things that I don't want you to do when it comes to goal setting and changing lifestyles and that sort of thing, and adopting a healthier lifestyle, is you need to get away from what I tell people sometimes is, I don't want you to be a member win. What is a member win? A member win is someone that uses the terms like, remember when I used to be thin? Or remember when I used to be so athletic? Okay, let that go. It's time to establish and set new goals. Okay, now you can use that as your framework, as your template. Okay, but this is a new version of you, and you've got to set new goals and new strategies and adopt new tactics to get to that point. So that's what I mean when I say I don't want you to be a member win. That was fine, but that was yesteryear. Okay, what are you going to do today to become the healthiest version of yourself? All right. People tend to, in my dealings, a lot of times people tend to focus on the wrong numbers, particularly as we get into adulthood and later on in life. And what do I mean by the wrong numbers? The wrong numbers, how much money you earn, the cost of the vehicle that you drive, what your credit score is. Okay, and those things have their place, but when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, does it really matter if you're without good health? There have been many a wealthy man and woman that have laid on their deathbed in a hospital room, dying of some horrible disease or illness, and they would be very quick to admit, I trade it all right now. The big house, the huge bank account, the fancy luxury cars, for another day here on earth. So when you think about it, what are those without good health? What do any of those material things mean anyway? Okay. If you're sick, but you're wealthy, are you really able to enjoy it? I would rather be able to do things. At some point, I'm looking forward to being a grandfather. I'd love to be able to be in a position where I can share time and be active with my grandchild and take them to the park and run around and chase them around and play catch with them and doing all those things that I enjoy doing as a younger person, right? So that I can enjoy them to the fullest. When I go on vacation, I don't want to be hooked up and carrying around an oxygen tank. I don't want to be in a position where I'm taking 12, 15, 17 medications, and I've worked with people that take medications in those dosages every day. Okay, I want to be able to. A quality of life means something, and when you compare that to materialistic things, they really pale in comparison. Okay, so you're focusing on the wrong numbers. Again, the bank account, the car, the credit score, that sort of thing. The numbers that I think you should concern yourself with are numbers like, what's your weight? What's your BMI or body mass index? What's your blood pressure reading? What's your cholesterol level look like? If you have diabetes, what are your A1C numbers look like? Those are important numbers. because when those get out of whack, everything else gets out of whack. So that's the format. That's what I wanted to share with you today during this initial broadcast. Just driving home the importance of progressing. Okay, and sometimes you'll get the question, well, where does it end? Where does it stop? I look at fitness as a lifelong pursuit. Okay, it's something that's always ongoing. Is it possible to be too healthy? I don't think so. Okay, there's always new things to learn and to do and to challenge yourself with. So that's what this is about. Um, I wanted to, as we're getting into the last 10 minutes of the show, I want to talk a little bit about the show's format and how I anticipate it being structured. And going forward, this is going to change quite a bit. All right, because this is a process that's ongoing, and I want to make the adjustments and the changes that are necessary to make sure that I'm bringing you the best content possible. So the way the show is going to be set up, the Vanguard Fitness Hour, number one, and I made sure that I put this down on my show notes first and foremost, transparency above all. I'm going to be open and honest with you. I'm going to share with you where I failed, where I've succeeded, changes that I would have made, setbacks that I've experienced, because some of you may have gone through the same things. Okay, for example, one of my weaknesses, and I know it's my weakness, is chocolate. Right. So I know that, I shouldn't be eating chocolate, but man, I give into my urges sometimes, right? Some of you might have an urge as well. I'm going to, right now, I got a box of milk duds in my drawer, right? So I have weaknesses and I run across challenges just like you. Okay. Another one would be sodium. I had to break myself of sodium usage. I grew up in a household where we would season food, salt, pepper, that sort of thing, before I'd even taste it. So going into adulthood, I had to break those habits. I had to get away from that. So I face challenges too. All right, I've got a busy lifestyle, but I still have to make time to exercise and to work out and to make sure that I'm eating the right kinds of foods. So these are things, transparency above all, because if I'm not transparent, if I'm not honest with you and open with you and putting myself in a position to share with you, why would you listen to me? You could go anywhere else. There's a ton of different broadcasts and media outlets where you can get information. I want you to come here because I want you to feel confident in the fact that the information I'm going to share with you is going to be factual, entertaining, educational. You're going to be able to take some segment out of it and apply it to your everyday life. That's my goal here on the Vanguard Fitness Hour. Okay, we're going to talk about exercise routines and strategies. I'm not always going to be sitting in this chair talking to you. I'm going to be taking an active position. I'm going to be performing exercises and movements and going through fitness routines. And I want you to join in with me. Okay, some of the movements maybe you've been familiar with before. Some of them might be brand new. Some of them you look at and you say, man, I should be incorporating that into my everyday routine. Not only am I going to share that with you, I'm going to explain to you why you should be including that in your fitness regimen. So exercise routines and strategies are going to be a big part of that also. I'm going to talk about fitness trends. There are always trends that come across in the fitness industry. Okay, lots of them that have come across during the years. Some of them are beneficial. Some of them are completely bogus and crap. Okay, so I'm going to share with you some of those trends. We're going to discuss the ins and outs of them and how they may benefit you in the long run. Okay, so fitness trends, we're going to be talking about that. I'm going to spend a ton of time on diet and nutrition. I already shared with you that in my estimation, diet and nutrition, the way that you eat, the way that you fuel your body is 60% of your exercise, your fitness journey anyway. So a big question that a lot of people get, that I get more than anything, is what should I be eating? What should I be eating for breakfast? What should I be eating for lunch? How should I prepare my dinners? What do you think about the keto diet? What do you think about the Mediterranean diet? All these different. What do you think about intermittent fasting? Diet and nutrition questions, I get those all the time. Okay, and I want to share with you all the details, the down and dirty with each one of those. So we're going to talk about diet and nutrition, even down to food prep. I'm going to be doing food prep demos right here online. During the broadcast, so you can actually see what goes into preparing a proper meal. All right. Contests, special promotions, and giveaways already in the works. We are working with providers of services and products that you can utilize to improve your overall and make your overall lifestyle and to make your fitness journey a more beneficial one. So a lot of these contests, I'm looking for you to get something out of watching this program too. All right, so I'm going to be calling on listeners to participate in some of these so that they can win beneficial products. On my Instagram page and my Facebook page, not too long ago, I did a giveaway for fitness watches. So I love doing stuff like that. So I'm going to make sure that that is incorporated as well. With our sponsors that we're going to have, we're going to partner with them, and they're going to offer some of their products or services as special promotions. So I want to share those with the listening audience. That's a big part of what I'm looking to do. Special guests. I'm really looking forward to the lineup that I'm putting together right now in terms of special guests. I love talking to you. But I know that at some point, the eyes might glaze over. You're hearing the same voice every day. I'm sorry, every Friday at 11 o'clock, which is when the Vanguard Fitness Hour is going to be airing. But I want to give you the opportunity to hear things from a different perspective, from a different source. To that end, I'm going to be bringing on physicians, chiropractors, health coaches, athletes, professional chefs, dietitians, military personnel, entertainers. All these people are going to be joining me on this broadcast, and they're going to be sharing their personal experiences with fitness, with healthy eating tactics, all these things that go into sharing with an individual what they can do to become a healthier version of themselves. So I'm really excited about our guest lineup. So next week during our broadcast, I'm going to be sharing with you who our first guest will be. So you have an opportunity to find out who that person is, and if you want to do a little research on them, whatever the case might be. But I'm really looking forward to that aspect of the show. Medical breakthroughs. I'm going to be spending a lot of time with that. I know that a lot of times the medical field can be a little bit, maybe a little bit boring, maybe a little bit overwhelming. I'm going to break that down as best I can so that it is digestible and presented in a way that's going to be understandable so you can realize what's going on in the medical field that pertains to fitness and health and overall wellness. Obviously, I'm going to be spending a good amount of time talking about COVID-19, the coronavirus, and things that we can do to better protect ourselves. In fact, one of the shows that I'm going to be doing is building or strengthening our immune system. And there's several things that can be done to enhance that. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with you as well. Upcoming events. There's always different fitness events that are going on now. Granted, because of the pandemic, a lot of those events have been limited or eliminated altogether. But there are still things that are going on, and eventually the world is going to come back. It may look a little different than what we're used to, but we're going to get back to things that we're more familiar with. And fitness events are a big part of that. I'm going to share some of those with you. Some of them I'll be participating in. Some of them I may just be covering as part of the Vanguard Fitness Hour. But I want to bring those to you as well. I talked about healthy recipes and meal prep. I don't know about you, but one of the things that makes eating, and I know I'm talking quite a bit about healthy eating, but it's vitally important. One of the biggest roadblocks is preparing meals. And I'm a big proponent of preparing meals simply because when you make your own food, you have an opportunity to control the way that food is prepared, the ingredients that are going into it, the cooking procedures that are going into preparing that meal. You have more control as opposed to I'd like to order a number 7 and God knows how it's actually prepared. Okay. Some individuals, granted, I know they might not know how to cook. I happen to be a pretty good cook myself. I enjoy it. I find it to be therapeutic. I like finding new recipes and trying them out. I like going through a recipe book or finding new menus online or have individuals share with me recipes that they have, healthy recipes that they have for certain meals. I like doing it. Okay. You might not, but I urge you to give it a shot. Okay, so I'm going to start off with just sharing some basic healthy recipes that you can include in your overall meal plan. Okay, when it comes to healthy lifestyle eating. So I'm going to be sharing that, and also meal prep tactics. So those are things that I'm going to be bringing to you also. Product reviews is another thing. There are so many different health and fitness items that come out every day. You see them online, you see them on infomercials, you see them in stores, on shelves. Some of them are very beneficial. Some of them are just rehashed items that have been produced or manufactured years ago, and they've just been slapped on a different coat of paint, or maybe a different adjustment has been made to them. I'm going to dive down into the usefulness, the efficacy of those devices, those products that are out there, so that you are spending your money the most effective way possible. I don't want you out there wasting your money. Okay, resources are limited. Okay, especially now, times are challenging. You don't need to be spending your money where it doesn't need to be shared. I'll give you a perfect example. Give me just a second. When we talk about product reviews, one of the biggest selling items of the I think early 90s, maybe late 80s, I suppose, was the shake weight. Okay, this is the thing that looks ridiculous when you use it. You're kind of making that kind of emotion. Just ridiculous. But it sold a ton because of the marketing aspect of it. Okay, people just saw that and they thought it was a great product. Why not get it? Its price point is pretty reasonable. I can't tell you how many shells of secondhand stores or Salvation Army stores or resale shops are filled with those things because they're basically useless. I don't want you spending your money on those kinds of things. So product reviews is going to be a big part of our show also. Book reviews. There's a lot of fitness books out there, and one of the things that I really enjoy doing is reading. And there are lots of fitness and health and wellness books out there, and I love picking through them. Some of them are not as good as others. Some of them are just diamonds in the rough. Some of them are promoted widely, and they're worth every bit of that promotion. I want to share what I'm reading, why I'm reading it, what I got out of it, maybe give you some excerpts from those reading materials, and so that you can maybe integrate that into your lifestyle, because it's not just what you do, it's also what you expose yourself to. Much like when we criticize children, all kids are so violent now. It's because of the video games. It's because of the music that they listen to. Yeah, that actually can have an effect, and I truly believe that. Just like if I expose myself to unhealthy lifestyle choices, I'm going to be unhealthy. So I want to make sure that the images, the information that I take in on a daily basis are ones that are going to benefit me physically, spiritually, mentally, because that is what I put. There's an old term in computer technology, GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. If I feed my body garbage, I'm going to get garbage performance. If I stuff my brain with all kinds of negative influences, what I exude, what I share with individuals is going to be garbage. So I need to make sure that I'm exposing myself to as many positive messages and stimuli as possible. Articles of interest. There's a lot of magazines that I read on a weekly basis, and I'm going to be sharing that information with you. And again, I want to make sure that this is as entertaining and factual as possible. I want to make the Vanguard Fitness Hour your go-to source for health, wellness, and fitness information. That's my goal. That's what I'm looking to do. So with that, time flies. We've already passed that 1 hour mark. So I invite you to tune in to the show every Friday at 11 a.m. right here on WDHR Radio. I'm looking forward to our next show. And the topic, actually, I've got a topic already, and I want to share that with you so you know what we're going to be talking about. Episode 2 is going to be fitness anytime, anywhere, for anyone. Okay, a lot of people are faced with the question, well, my gym is shut down, or I don't feel comfortable going to the gym. It's cold out now. I don't want to be doing my outdoor workouts, depending on where you are in the world or the country and that sort of thing. Here in the Midwest, it's starting to get cold. Okay, so how do we modify that? How do we still make sure that we're achieving our fitness levels? I'm going to be sharing with you tactics and strategies and methodologies that you can use in your very own home. There's no reason not to be fit. And I'm going to show you how you can do that. So, episode 2 next week, fitness anytime, anywhere for anyone. To see, I also invite you to make sure that you save in your web browser, wdhrradio.com. Okay, that's where you're going to find this program. WDTR is going to be the channel for talk radio. But if you log on to wdhrradio.com, you're going to be able to get my show. You're going to be able to hear some of the best soul and house music possible that's out there. So plug it in. This is a great station, and we want. Oh, I'm sorry, and jazz. How could I forget about jazz? Those of you that are local to Chicago, those of you that are local, remember WNUA. WNUA is a jazz station that is now under the WDHR radio family. So I want you to make sure that you plug that in and check that station out on a regular basis. So with that being said, I am Mario Kuntz, the fitness guru. Thank you very much for joining me on this, the inaugural episode of the Vanguard Fitness Hour. Until next time, make sure that you follow the Vanguard motto: train hard, eat clean, stay focused. And I'm going to add one thing to that motto right now: wear your masks. It's a simple thing to do. Want to make sure that you're staying healthy and you're protecting those around you, particularly around these upcoming holidays. So take care, and I'll see you next time right here on the Vanguard Fitness Hour.
All right, everyone. That was Mario Kuntz with the Vanguard Fitness Hour here live on WDHR Radio, Broadcasting Digital Network. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let me bring Mario back in here. There he is. Okay. As he said, next week, take a listen to us. Definitely come to our actual Facebook page, which is facebook.com/WDHR Radio. Mario will be sharing this as well on his Facebook page. So each week you will be able to actually, it's kind of an archive. You'll be able to go back, see some different shows as we continue to build. What we will be doing on our website is archiving them. And actually, if you would like to request one of the shows from previous broadcasts as we continue to build, definitely send us an email. We'll go ahead and, with Mario's permission, send it out to you. Anything else, Mario? I mean, we're about 7 minutes over. Okay. All right.
It's just amazing how time flies.
I know. I'm sitting there like I'm trying to cut, action, stop.
I'm sorry. It's just, when you're passionate about something, you know how it is when you're passionate about something, just like somebody asked you about technology or whatever the case might be. But this was fantastic, and I'm looking forward to moving forward.
Yeah, this is great. So again, can't wait till next week. The topic again next week is exercise anywhere, everywhere. Pretty much.
It is fitness. Anytime, anywhere, for anyone.
For anyone. Okay. So that's what's going to be going on. People do understand I am not the host here. I am just the producer. I disappear as soon as I say it's the Vanguard Fitness Hour. So, but one thing I will say is that Mario, as Mario said, it took about a good year and a half to put all of this together. Not because of, back and forth or anything, but really just putting something together that has fruitful information. And, and that's one thing that WDHR is about fruitful information. We don't want to put out jibber jab. As my partner in crime calls it, just gabbing. This has to be fruitful information. Mario took a lot of time to make sure that he had the information that he wanted to present. We took the time to make sure that everything was set up correctly in regards to audio, visual, making sure that we can utilize, every bit of technology that's available, especially in these times right now. And this seems to be, it seems to be working out very well. We will be, I guess, as things move on and we start, coming back to some reality. we'll be on location at certain places. We've talked about that, so that'll probably take place in like spring, summer, in that area where we'll be on location. Um, as far as the cooking is concerned, I was going to jump in there for that. I don't know where he's going to cook because I've been to the gym. I want to know where you're going to cook. I'm just going to put it out there. That means he's going to
Well,
cook from his home, people.
that's an option. And also, I've got equipment when I do demos, when I do seminars on site and that sort of thing.
Okay,
It's
gotcha.
basically a portable cook stove, so I can prepare little meals, small things as I demonstrate those. So I'm going to be using that during the broadcast as well.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. I got to mess with him. That's my boy. He shares my middle name. So, but yeah, that's it. That's it right there, people. Again, thank you so much for joining us, Mario. Great show. Great show. Next week, we're back at it. Regular time,
Yes.
regular back channel, 11 a.m. All righty.
All right.
Thank you so much, people. You have a great one. Bye bye.
Take care. Stay healthy, people.